Rick here from Save versus BS. There is an invisible weight that a lot of GMs carry. And even if we don't talk about it, the pressure to run a perfect game. You know the one I mean, the game where every NPC's voice lands, every plot thread ties together, and every rule is used exactly right. And every single player walks away thinking, wow, that was the best session we've ever played. If you've been on social media, you've seen and watched these polished actual plays. You've seen the snappy banter, the cinematic camera work, the moments that feel like they came straight out of a movie script. Well, spoiler, they might have. But then you sit down behind your own DM screen, you look at your notes and think, how the hell am I supposed to compete with that? Now, here's the truth, and I want you to hear this with kindness. You're not supposed to compete with that. Because chasing that kind of perfection, it's really a trap, and it'll kill your table faster than the deck of many things in the wrong hands. Where does this pressure come from? Part of it is the highlight reel effect. You know, you've seen the best 10 minutes of someone else's 4-hour game, and you mistake it for their whole game. You didn't see the awkward pauses, you didn't see the rules arguments, you didn't watch the GM flip through 3 different books looking for the exact rules for grappling again. Part of it is the endless conveyor belt of how-to videos, blogs, and advice threads like this video. A lot of stuff, it's great, but it can also make you feel like there's a checklist for magic. That if you just hit all the bullet points, you'll get the perfect session. And part of it is just plain old fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of not knowing the answer when a player goes off the script, and fear that things will just get messy and people will see the seams of your world. And you'll be exposed as a bad DM. But here's the thing no one tells you. Those seams of your world, that's where the good stuff happens. That's where life leaks into your game. Think back to the sessions that your players still talk about years later. Were they flawless, airtight, exactly as planned, or were they absolute chaos? I'll wait. The time the rogue decided to adopt a goblin that you meant to kill, or the time the cleric failed the persuasion roll so badly that the mayor started crying and confessed to a murder that you haven't even planned, the time the barbarian tried to wrestle a dragon and you, in the moment, decided the dragon found it hilarious. Those moments weren't in your notes. They weren't in the module. They happened because the table went off the rails and you rolled with it. And that's the point. You can't plan the moments people will remember. Check out my video about Johnny riding the wolf. You can only create the space for these things to happen. And when you stop clinging to your prep like a lifeline and start reacting in the moment, something changes. Your improv skills level up fast. You get more confident for saying yes instead of needing a 10-minute rule check. You stop panicking when the players zig instead of zag. And the story, it deepens. The mistake in session 3 becomes the twist in session 10. The NPC you threw in as filler becomes the player's favorite. The random tavern brawl ends up tying to the villain's plot. So many things. When the players realize that you're not protecting your prep from them and that you're feeding off of their chaos, they start making bolder choices. They stop trying to guess what the DM wants, and they start chasing what their characters would actually do. That's where the ownership happens. That's where the game stops being your story and starts being our story. And this is where a lot of GMs freeze up. Sure, Rick, embrace the chaos, I get it, man. But the game will fall apart. Not if you have the right tools. First thing, above all else, if you had a D&D TTRPG rulebook, it would say the rule of cool. It's fun, surprising, or makes the table light up, it's in. Even if the rules don't have a paragraph for it somewhere in some book. The rules are there to serve the story, not the other way around. Secondly, build a toolkit. I cannot emphasize this enough. Not a script, a toolkit. Prep NPCs with strong motives. Prep problems that could drop into any location. Prep encounters that aren't locked into one map or one scene. That way, when the players do something wild, you've got ammo that can adapt to the situation. And thirdly, encourage your players to get weird. When they lean into the quirks, reward them. If they decide their character is terrified of geese, make damn sure geese show up. If they rescue a useless NPC, find a way for that NPC to matter later. And that doesn't mean you hand them story on a silver platter. It means you're saying your choices matter and I'm listening. Most of us grew up thinking a good session, whatever that means, it's when we hit all of our beats. The players did what we thought they'd do. The fight we prepped went exactly as designed. We checked off all the plot points we wanted to cover for that session. That's not the real metric, the real modern metric anyway. The real question is, did it feel alive? Because the game people remember are the ones that couldn't have happened anywhere else with any other group on any other table. The ones that were messy and real and our own. That's the magic of tabletop. It's not perfect, it's not polished, it's personal. So here's my request. At your next game, when something unexpected happens, don't pull back onto the rails, push further. When the bard decides to marry the villain, let's see how that plays out. When the players take an NPC you plan to kill off and make them their traveling companion, cool, let them. Let's see what happens. When the combat turns into a goat stealing competition, now you've got a new minigame to invent, so have fun. The point isn't to lose control, it is to lose the illusion of control. Let the table see that you're in the game with them, not above them. A messy session is not a failure. It's a sign that your table is alive. Perfection is forgettable. Chaos, unforgettable. So don't aim for perfect, aim for real. Aim for alive. Aim for the session your players will be laughing about 5 years from now. My name is Rick. This is Save vs. BS. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Go embrace that mess. And I'll see you in the dark.